Reserve. The root of all our evil, it begins with the Federal Reserve. Hey, yeah, well, let's go back in time when everybody was so proud of America.
I'm Tommy Salmons. This is Year Zero. Today, I am playing you a replay from I Done Told You. I Done Told You is a podcast that Beatrix and I conduct, and we put behind a paywall because you got to pay for her brilliance. But I figured, why not give them a little sneak peek into what's going on I Done Told You. It's a lot of fun. We're having some really fun conversations. So you get to hear Beatrix and myself chat with Bird for about an hour and a half. A little bit less. Whatever. But if you want to subscribe to I Done Told You, if you like what you hear, go to patreon.com/TD Salmons. And for $3 a month, you can hear Beatrix and myself bullshit once a week with different guests. As always, RyanBunting.com for all of your graphic design needs. Ryan Bunting is a great libertarian and anarcho-capitalist. He's also a great graphic designer. He designed my podcast logo and Pete Quinones' podcast logo for Free Man Beyond the Wall. So go to RyanBunting.com for all of your graphic design needs. And check out his book, Project Manicore. Thank you, Tom Burton, for the music. Enjoy the show.
Oh, that lady.
Yeah, that
Well,
That
I know
lady.
it's another lady, yeah.
She's snooping in. That's our federal officer listening in.
Yeah, that's our
Hi,
AI.
Candace.
I can.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why they started that shit, man. It was just like, it never used to do that. And then I guess it was about a month ago, it started doing that to me. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? Why is my computer talking to me?
Man, I guess that they don't. I guess enough people got caught jerking off in Zoom meetings that they wanted to make sure that everybody knew that it was being recorded.
Yeah, we have to warn you. Please take your hands out of your pants because
I've
you
got
are
both.
literally now on recording.
I've got both on my microphone right now, and I'm talking about the one I'm speaking into.
Yeah.
Y'all ruined my bid. I was just going to break out in about an hour and just start jerking it.
No, you won't.
That's that. We'll do that for a bonus episode.
Yeah. Let's not do it within our first, third episode. Let's not
Yeah, that's a episode 69 type deal.
Yeah.
Something like that. So what was your story about getting into a fight?
Oh, yeah. No, these fucking people are bloody hell crazy in Mauriceville, right? Because we have something called game rooms. I don't know what the situation is where you're at in New York.
It's kind of like those games you play at the bar.
At the bar, right? But
Oh, okay. Yeah.
gambling is illegal in Texas, although it's legal literally 10 minutes from my house in Louisiana. But they have these game rooms, and they found a way that you can basically quote unquote gamble, and then you get tickets, and then they pay you the tickets. I don't even know how it works. It's a loophole, and everyone is just freaking out. The game rooms are killing the community. The game rooms are killing the community, and it's bringing,
that's where the meth
it's
heads
bringing
hang out.
all the meth heads to the yard.
There were no meth heads in this
There
redneck haven.
there were no meth heads before. You know what? Listen here. If you want to end the war on drugs, come talk to these fucking aunties here in Mauriceville, because they know exactly how to stop it. You just have to end the game rooms, and all the drugs will stop. They're fucking nuts, right? So Tommy, I told Tommy help me here, because it's just a short thing. So he got into this argument with these bad people. I got banned from the page, or not banned, kind of an haters for a month. I couldn't say anything on the page, but this lady is like, I pay my taxes, so I want a Walmart in my town. Oh my fucking god! In Mauriceville, where there's 2,000 fucking people, you want a fucking Walmart. There's literally a Walmart to your left, 10 minutes away from here, and to your right, also another one, 10 minutes away from here. But you want a fucking Walmart in this fucking town who hardly has people. Who hardly has any businesses. You want a fucking Walmart. Like, just like relax. Like, what is wrong with you?
I told her.
That is sick.
That's
I told
fucking
her.
crazy. That is sick. It is very sick.
I told her. I said, you do realize you pay taxes to the government and not to Walmart, right?
Man, I don't know. I see Walmart and I get visions of like medieval Europe about how everybody had to trek up to the fucking castle to get everything that they needed and then fucking go back home. It creeps me out, man. I don't know.
I hate fucking Walmart, man.
Dude, Walmart might as well be a DMV. It's a little more efficient, but it might as well be a DMV. I mean, it's designed like one.
Well, maybe that's where the reject airport employees go, because I say that the reject DMV employees go to airports. So maybe it's the reject airport.
Oh man, dude, it's insane how I had to go because I had an expired license when I flew, so you can still fly, but they have to do their checking. You know, TSA has to, for some reason, when you have an expired license, it means they have to check you manually. I don't know how they draw that connection, but whatever. So they checked me 1, 2, 3 separate times, and every time I went through TSA, something completely different happened. The first time I went through TSA, they couldn't even print our boarding passes, so they were like, just go through. Letting people through who could have, like, no boarding passes, nothing. The second time, they didn't even manually check me. I got to the front of the line, got past a bomb-sniffing dog who I, like, said hi to, and the guy got upset that I did that. It's not my fault. It's a Great Dane. He was cute. And so I got up to the place where they checked the license, and I gave him the license, didn't say a fucking thing about it being expired. Guy looks at it, looks at me, pull your mask down, pull the mask down, put the mask back up. All right, put the mask back up. He's looking at it. And then somebody else goes, what's the problem? He goes, it's expired. He goes, clear him, go through. And so they clear me there, and then they go through. And then my trip back, oh no, I had to do this 4 times because I got stranded in fucking Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember the Austin flight because it was at like 2 a.m. I don't remember that one at all. But the Dallas flight back was the most stringent. The guy had a hard-on for doing his job. It was insane. He checked the bag. He seriously checked the bag. Then he finished. And then he was like, wait, he pulls out something. He's like, this is a large electronic. I got to check the bag again. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you joking? So they had to send the bag through the scanner again, and he had to do the entire check over again. Because a battery bank, you know, like a portable charger with some battery in it, so I could have that to charge my phone, because it wasn't outside of the bag in the initial scan.
Hey.
So that was that, and I'm flipping out the last time. I was like, really? Like, you can't just run that fucking thing through the scanner? You got to do the whole bag thing? I was pissed. I was pissed.
Your notes from 2 days ago when we went through this exact same fucking thing?
It's fucking terrible, man. And the worst part is you can't say a thing to them because they're police. So they think they're doing the right thing. and like, because it's based on safety, right? Like, it's like, well, I have to do this because if I don't do this, you won't be safe. Motherfucker, 200 times I did this. Nobody checked me at all. How safe are they making me? You need to do your job like this today. You're not making anybody safer. The craziest part is going through TSA once, you can immediately see how easy it is to get things in that you shouldn't be able to get in. It's the most transparent, easy to move anything possibly you can think of through system that you can imagine, especially when you don't use anything metal. So it's just weird to me, and troublesome.
Whenever I remember when you were stuck there, and somebody on Twitter goes, "Is this how a bird finds out he's on a no-fly list?"
I didn't see that one. I was slightly nervous going to that airport. That I was like, because January 6th happened, and
yeah.
Beyond that, I know I'm 1 degree from someone who just got court-martialed. 1 degree. So I was thinking that, like, oh man, if they fucking say, "Hey, blank blank, you're not allowed to fly in this plane," I don't know what I would have done. It would have probably been a good thing. Like, I could have probably like flaunted it online. Hey, I'm on the no-fly list. But I don't know. I don't know, man.
But what,
I hate that shit.
It was funny when I was shipping Beatrix back to South Africa after she
Shipping me back?
after she came in after she came and visited the first time. They put her through that full body scan, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like this woman has like this really strange OCD thing about the bottom of her feet.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
And so they made her take her shoes off.
Oh, God.
So she's like a ballerina going through this scanner on the tips of her toes.
Lucky I used to be a ballerina.
And
It is disgusting, though. It's disgusting that they make you
terrible.
do that.
It's terrible. Whose feet was it? What kind of... It's probably where I got my fucking fungus from.
Oh, do we want to talk about fungus?
No, we do not. We'll edit this out. No, but it's
I don't
fucking
edit
gross.
this.
No, it's fucking gross. Like I don't even walk. Yeah, okay, I don't even walk barefoot in my own fucking house. Now I have to like share my foot space with other people's feet spaces? No.
Have you seen some of the people they do let fly? It's crazy that you got to share like toe touching with some guy who hasn't cleaned his shoes ever since he bought them.
Yeah.
Ever once walking. It's gross. It really is gross. The airport is like the only national version of the New York subway that exists. It's like disgusting. And you can see, I don't understand how TSA is supposed to be protecting anybody, and then once you actually get into the airport, there's fucking crazy people everywhere. Violently dangerous, yelling.
Oh, Jesus.
Never not bathing, sleeping on the floor. It's crazy. Like once they get in, it's like, okay, so what exactly were you doing? I don't know. It's just weird to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. So when I had trouble getting on the plane, like I thought I wasn't going to be able to get on because of the license. I remembered something my mom had told me, which was they've let crazier people fly, and that was the thing that I've just had to repeat to myself the entire time. And then it actually hit me like, wow, they really do let some crazy people get on planes.
Like I haven't flown locally ever before. I'm actually gonna fly locally for the first time in October. But it sounds like the London like fucking bus service in London. Like it is like the people and the trains, like the tube and stuff, the people that are on that thing. How did you even get the money to get on here in the first
That's exactly what I wonder sometimes.
You fucking look like you've never lived inside of a structure or made any money in your life. But yet you are.
My whole thing is that's the case.
I've been paying for my goddamn plane ticket for 6 months. Goddamn.
Hell yeah! See, that's what I'm saying. Is well, that's not even my problem. Is it seems like okay, I don't even think I told this actually on air. No, I didn't. The plane flight from Austin to Dallas, which was in a storm.
Oh yeah.
Which was nuts, but a lot of fun. We landed, and we touched down, and I'm already 2 hours late. They canceled my flight to LaGuardia. I know I have to wait on a 2-hour-long line, which I did have to do. But before I even got to do those things I knew I was going to have to do, I'm still sitting on the airplane, and they start calling for an ambulance. And I hear them go, somebody, a doctor on here, somebody, and I roll my eyes, and I go, what the fuck is this now? And some gentleman, I'll make no comments about his physical stature, was having a diabetic episode on the plane. He went into diabetic shock the minute that the landing gear hit the ground, and they had to resuscitate him on the plane. And as sympathetic as I can be to an individual man's struggles, and I am, can't you have cleared off the fucking plane first or something? Because we all had to sit there and listen to his wife crying like he was gonna die, and the people doing the bzz and the fucking, it was like a really like weird experience, really weird. And like this was all my first time flying alone, like that entire span of trips, and it was like I don't ever really want to fly again, but I'm gonna have to. I just really don't like it. It reminds me really a lot of going on the subway in New York City, where you just have no idea what's gonna happen, and
Who's
you're
gonna be
completely
there?
in a metal tube at the whim of every person on that plane. I don't know, not being insane or really dangerous or unhealthy. And I ran into every version of that. I've never seen more people get into fights on planes than I have in any other social situation that you can think of. The amount of people are yelling at one another like a baby is crying on the plane, and a baby will cry 5 or 6 times and somebody will be like, shut that fucking baby up. It's like, calm
I'll be the
down.
one who goes shut that fucking baby up because
Well,
the
it's
baby's
calm
crying.
down,
Like,
though.
so
It's
what?
gonna stop. It's a baby. How much stamina could it have? It's gonna blow itself out fast. They don't have any stamina. They'll cry 2 minutes and then they're asleep the whole time.
Well, at
There was
least
a-
someone
baby-
made it into 5 cries. I'll be the second one. Like, you better shut that fucking baby up. I'll shut it up for you.
The baby cries for like 30 minutes. You're like, that motherfucker's a future MVP.
Look at the lung capacity on that baby. Yeah, and then like
Carl
God
Lewis
forbid,
eats your heart out.
God forbid you have a large piece of luggage that you try and fit into the overhead compartment, and it either just doesn't fit slightly, so that the ham-fisted airline attendant has to come over and like smash it into the thing. Like, I couldn't do that. They have to be really violent. I hate that. And then God forbid you take too long when you're deboarding the plane to get off and go home or wherever you're going, where if you don't follow exactly the right way of getting up, waiting your turn, and I mean God forbid, because I'll flip out. I hate when people are like, let me just get my stuff and go, but there's like 20 people in front of you. It's like, you're not doing anything. You're actually just holding everybody else. And that made me want to fight people. It's all fighting people. It's principles of there's 100 people on this tube and we can only use one road. But none of us can communicate with one another because post 9/11, if you say any words on an airplane to a stranger, everybody thinks you're going to blow the airplane up. So you can't even communicate with anybody. So you're just sitting there waiting for like the person in like a lemming, waiting for the person ahead of you to do the thing so that you can do the thing. And some people don't follow the thing. They want to do their own thing. And it's outrageous. Really, I hate planes. It was an experience I came away with. I hate planes. I know I'm going to have to use them a lot in the future, but I hate planes a lot. And I wish that there was a better system than a single lane that is not even as large as some of the people who have to go through it, which is another crazy thing. And then we all have to share it, and we can't communicate with one another because a fight will break out for some reason. It's insane.
It's
a really weird social experiment.
You know what I would love to see is to be on a plane with somebody who's trying to get their luggage in the overhead compartment, and they just look around and go, "Does anybody have a box cutter?"
I'll ease up on that. I can make this a lot smaller if somebody has a sharp object. Yeah, man, I don't know. And nowadays, you could bring your laptop on a plane. Anybody want to guess how quickly I could beat somebody to death with a single piece of metal?
Oh my god.
Which a laptop is a single piece of metal. An Apple laptop is one single piece of metal.
Right.
You could easily beat somebody to death with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's not a principle of we're gonna try and prevent people from beating one another to death. It's a principle of we wanna clamp down on illegal gun sales, so we can't have people taking guns on planes. That's what I've come to the conclusion of, is that it's just a way to stop commerce. It's 100% not doing anything to protect anybody. People are just gonna, like, there was a guy on the plane. Actually, a guy was very cool. I don't know if he was a bodybuilder. In fact, he told me he was like a fucking, what do you call it? A weatherologist. What are those people who look at the weather and they go, okay, it's going to be like this? There you go. I don't know, meteor. Come on.
Yeah.
What is that? And
It's one of those dudes that's wrong all the time and still gets a promotion. I mean, like,
yeah, right. Like an economist, right.
Yeah.
Hey, we might
So-
be on this.
So the freaking weatherologist guy, I'm talking to him while we're in the middle of the storm. I'm like, are we going to make it? And he was like, of course. I was like, all right, cool. And the guy was like 6'8" and like 300 pounds probably. He was built like a bodybuilder, though I don't know if he was. I didn't ask. That guy could beat me to death easily on a
With
plane.
his bare hands.
With his bare hands, and not one of those 70-year-old flight attendants. By the way, what is the point? What is the point of stopping people at a gateway when all of the flight attendants are 70 to 85 years old, or like, weak men?
Brittle.
Let's just say weak men.
Brittle.
Nobody who I'm going to entrust my protection to. That's the creepiest part about getting on a plane is anybody who chooses could beat you to death on that plane, and nobody could stop that single event from happening.
Right.
Because nobody's going to intervene because there's one lane. So who's going to intervene and how? The flight attendants aren't going to do anything, even if they were strong enough to, they wouldn't. The pilots aren't going to do anything because they're pilots. They're locked up in their little room at the front because God forbid somebody wants to go in and ask them cool questions about the plane. That's not cool anymore. Can't do that anymore. We can't be humans to other people anymore. It's I don't know. It's all weird.
Yeah.
The airplane is the ground zero, no pun intended, of like all of the weirdest social interactions that I can think of.
No,
It was a very odd experience.
There's no Wesley Snipes on the plane either, so you fucked. You fucked, basically.
You can't even tell jokes on the plane.
Yeah. There's no Samuel L. Jackson. There's no Wesley
No.
Snipes. You fucked.
No.
You
Yeah,
fucked.
it's boring, and
Oh my God,
the
it's
flight
so
attendants
boring.
are
Oh, Lord
rude.
Jesus, it's so boring.
Yeah, it's terrible. And it was a 6-hour flight to get home. That was the most brutal flight I've ever been on. 6
Oh,
hours.
you want to talk brutal?
I'm sure
yeah.
it's no, I don't, because I don't, because I know what you're gonna say.
But let me fucking tell you about brutal, right? when I flew here, the first time I came to visit, I went from South Africa to London to here. It wasn't that bad.
Oh my
But-
God.
Oh, yeah, it's 12 hours from South Africa to London, and then from London here, 9 hours. That's what I'm saying. You little
That's
bitch when it
crazy.
comes to fucking But no. Then when I moved here finally, like we tried to save some money because that flight is obviously more expensive. So I went from South Africa to like Doha, and from Doha to here. From South Africa to Doha was about a 9 or so hour flight. I stand corrected. I did Google the other day and I can't remember. But from Doha to America, non-stop, was about 12 hours. 12, 13 hours, if not more. Like non-fucking stop.
Would never do that.
Just-
Like what, a 13
and then I had like a 13-hour layover in Doha. Like,
Oh my God.
And then you're like, I'm a smoker, so I go into my little smoking lounge. You don't even have to light a cigarette. You don't even have to light a cigarette. You're just inhaling about 20 other fucking people smoke into your lungs. Like,
That's-
it was fucking brutal. Like,
Yeah.
it was. I'm gonna have to Google it because from South Africa to London is about 12 hours. It was like double the time from.
Jesus,
from-
and then when you get there, you end up in London. What an awful treat for having to spend 7 hours on a plane.
I love
Oh,
London.
man.
What do you
Oh God,
mean?
I
love
hated London. Oh my God, I hated
What's
it.
wrong
It was.
with you?
It reminded me of New York. It was dirty and cramped, and the people were rude to me, and I don't know. It was not a
Oh.
great time.
Oh no,
Not a
I
great time.
loved it. I lived in London for like about a year. I was there for 2 years.
That's
I
because
lived
your
a year and
ancestors.
a year and a half.
That's because your ancestors didn't throw London off as their king. They hate Americans.
They do. They know. They look at us. I think that's what it was. I felt that way too. They look at us and we're like slightly rounder, and and they just know we're Americans, and they look and that's why whenever I go anywhere, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm Canadian. I'm just pass that over and go, yeah, I am a Canadian. That's because nobody really has an opinion on Canada in another place. They're just like,
no,
oh,
no.
Canadian,
People
cool.
think that people from Canada is very, very sweet, and I did meet Canadians one time, me and Tommy at that bar, Revolver, and they were the sweetest fucking people. The sweetest bloody
Yeah.
people. Yeah, they just
Right.
nice fucking
That's
people.
why I say that I'm Canadian,
Yeah,
so that they think
Canadian.
I'm sweet. And
Yes,
then,
yes.
like, when I'm not sweet, I ruin Canada's reputation, not my own.
I mean, fuck them. Who cares?
Do you ever go on a like a long train ride?
Um,
I
not like
have.
for like touristy purposes. I went from London to France on the Eurostar, but that's underground. I mean, you can't see shit. So no. But I
Whoa,
would
they got a
love.
train that goes under the channel.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah, from like London to France and then Belgium as well. I think there's
Your
like one.
ears like pop and stuff when you're under there. Like, do you get really like compressed and stuff when
No,
you're under
it
there? Oh
actually
wow.
didn't. Like my ears always pop when I'm on a plane and you're landing and all that stuff. Like I fucking that's actually the worst thing. The only thing I had about flying. Now I'm like obviously very very scared because I've never flown. And after the stories you just told me, I'm gonna
Hey,
be
well,
scared for that.
yeah.
But no,
Just
like
avoid the guys who are wearing like sandals and like t-shirts with beer
I'm
stains
gonna
on them
I'm
and
gonna
like
act like
who are
I'm blind,
yelling.
dumb, and also deaf and all that. But no, like my ears
Yeah.
didn't pop. Like it was a very very quick little boom boom under the water and boom boom up on the earth, and then there we were. It was actually
Nice.
very great. Yeah.
Yeah, I took
Yeah, I
a. I've been on a. I took a train around Frankfurt, Germany.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was going to South Africa, I had like a 15-hour like layover. So and it was in Frankfurt. So because I'm American, unlike Beatrix, I'm not stuck in the airport. I can go like touristy around in Germany and fucking without a visa. And so I went around Frankfurt and all the little towns that were around Frankfurt and rode the train all around there.
hmm. How was that? Because Germany, my impression of Germany is that it's a lot more urbanized than where I was in upstate New York, where's the longest train ride I put. Was it mostly like where'd the train go?
I went
Through
through
the
all these.
city or
Yeah, yeah. I went from Frankfurt in around, and I can't remember the names of the little towns anymore. I mean, it's been a while, but it went through all the little towns, and it would stop at every little town. You could get off and go walk around these little towns and shit like this. And
yeah, I
it was
do
really
like
the
trains.
fucking most interesting part was whenever I would run into people because like the first guy I ran into, um, he wanted a light. He wanted to use my lighter, right? And he said something to me in German, and I was like, "Sorry, dude, I don't understand." And he goes, "America," and I was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Texas," and I was like, "Yeah," and then the dude starts speaking fluent Spanish to me. And I'm like,
What?
whoa, like what the fuck, dude?
Wow, dude, that's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, yeah. So it was interesting. The people were really nice, though. All the people I talked to and interacted with were really cool.
My longest train ride was an Amtrak that did a kind of a bend from New York City to Albany to Buffalo. So I got to like go see the span of New York State, which was incredible to
Yeah.
see on a train. It's a really beautiful place.
I,
But
I, I would
we
love
didn't get to stop.
that.
We didn't get to stop. Like we
Ah,
stopped once in Albany for 5 minutes so that people could go out and stretch their legs. And it was a 9 hour train ride. And it was so 9 hours on a train. The seating is more comfortable than a plane, but they don't give you food. You gotta buy
Oh,
the food.
yeah, you buy
Yeah,
the
it's
food. Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I think I do prefer trains to planes. And I don't know if that's could be a commentary about my anarchism or not. Which one of them is more decentralized? Probably neither. But I do like the train idea because I like if I was with other people, I was alone on that ride for 8 hours, so it was really boring. I think if I was like with other people on a train, and also that you could like I don't know, they had alcohol, probably would have made it a lot easier. But they didn't. I didn't have anybody there, and they didn't have any alcohol.
Yeah, like I've been on on planes on trains too before. Like I mean, the one going to France was like not touristy, and was just like to get there real quick and not fly whatever. But I went from in South Africa. I went from Klerksdorp to Cape Town, which was like shit. Oh my god, like over 12 hours, probably like 15, 16 hours on a train. and it's much better. Like, I mean, you can walk around the train. I mean, you can walk around a plane too, but there's actually like a place you can go lie down, go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
There's several of them. You can go like to the bar, get yourself a drink, meet people. Like, it's much better. A train is much more socially than a plane is. Sorry, a train is more social than a plane is. 'Cause
Which,
I
by
get-
the way, the TSA is supposed to manage trains in the United States, and
Really?
they don't check your anything. They don't scan anything when you go in. Uh, I saw that the first time I got on that train. I was like, wait, I didn't have to get scanned. Didn't check if I was carrying a weapon of any kind. I could have lugged multiple pounds of substances in a bag and got on the train, and in 8 hours been in another city selling the same substances. So this TSA doesn't really do anything there either, but they are responsible for dealing with Amtrak security, at least at the gates.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
there's
like,
another one.
Oh,
the
can I-
TSA is just like, this is a bougie Greyhound ride. So what the fuck?
Can I interrupt 1 second? I just looked it up because I knew I was wrong earlier. The flight from Doha to Houston was 21 hours.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, because you were. It was like.
Fucking brutal. I
What?
want to revisit the conversation.
I'm trying to. Well, no, I was trying to remember how long
God.
the trip was. It was something.
I was
something like
in the
40.
air for
40.
2 days.
It was like 42 hours. Like with her layover and everything, it was like 42 hours. She was in the air for like 30 hours or some shit like that.
That is
It was
sick.
some insane amount of time.
That is not a thing human beings were
I don't
evolutionarily
think
designed
you'll
to
make it,
handle.
bud.
Yeah, I never would do that. I would get on a boat. I'd rather see it. It's one of those things where it's a graph, it's an inverse graph of how long am I going to be traveling versus how comfortable do I want to be.
Yeah.
And the longer that I'm going to be traveling, the more accepting I am of that, but I need more stuff.
Right.
Like if I'm going to I would rather take a 3 or 4 day cargo ship ride than I would want to get on a plane for 12 hours.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
freakish.
you can walk
20
around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I'm a very nervous flyer, so I don't. I mean, I'm not like nervous, like I freak out or anything, but I like to be safe. Like I don't drink on the flight at all. Like I'll have
wow.
like one glass of wine with my dinner, and that's it. I don't drink on the flight. I drink a lot of water. I do not walk around. I keep my safety belt on at all times. Like
Wow.
quite
I'm
a
so
bit
the
of-
opposite.
No,
So
God,
yeah,
Jesus.
we went through turbulence in Austin, and I took my seatbelt off just to really feel it, and it was real fun. I liked it. My favorite parts of being in a plane are turbulence, which is wild, but it's like it really makes you excited. It's the most exciting thing that happens in that stupid little tube is a chance that you might die.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not the turbulence itself that I like so much. It's everybody around me screaming like little bitches.
I like gripping onto that the armrest and just holding on and just being like, if I don't make it, at least it feels like a roller coaster, and if I do make it, everything's
You're like,
fine.
I always wanted to ride in the rodeo, Ma.
Yeah. See, it's like a real roller coaster is getting on a plane. There's no rails on this motherfucker, so if this thing goes down, you're going down. It's fun. I don't know.
Maybe that's why. Because I
That's
don't
you
like
gotta.
roller
If you're
coasters.
afraid of that, you have to embrace it. You have to embrace death.
I
Like
would
if you're
want to
just gonna be afraid of it, you got to be like, well, fuck it. Let's see what you got. Really scare the shit out of me here. Let's see how deep we can go. That's what I like. I don't know. That's what I like to do. That I enjoyed, and then but what I really don't enjoy is what's funny is the opposite of flying through turbulence is what I don't enjoy. The opposite being sitting still in a very normal, comfortable.
Oh my God.
That's the worst to me because it is the most extreme version of sitting on a very comfortable plane ride. And by comfortable, I mean like slow and uneventful. Is like getting in an MRI machine. It's the same feeling. Don't move. You know, we're gonna do what we need to do. Just stay still. And the staying still drives me crazier than the turbulence.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
does.
Most of the time I've been on a plane, except for when I was in the army and was jumping out of airplanes. Like you don't need turbulence in a C-130. That's like driving through potholes constantly.
Oh,
But
that sounds really sickly fun for some reason.
dude, it's like this really thin sheet metal. Like you can
Oh, it
hear everything
rattles.
outside. You ever been in a Hyundai? Like
I had a Hyundai. I had a Hyundai.
But what happens? What happens if you're flying in one of those things and a goose just pelts right through? Like you'll hear that goose hit the side, and you would think that the planes that were gonna get shot at would be the ones with the thicker.
no,
don't know.
they make it easier to fucking to shoot through because they know they're gonna get shot at. So they're like, fuck it. We got to get as many of these fuckers in the air as possible.
Yeah, that's another strategy. Yeah, I
But,
do. I want to. I would like to go through. Oh, helicopter would be the next. That's the next one I want to do. That's scary.
I've
that's
jumped
fine.
out of a helicopter too.
You can't jump out of helicopters; they'll chop your head off.
Hey, you won't. You jump out the back of them. It has a little landing gear that opens up on the back. And you slide right out the back of it.
I don't know what kind of helicopter you've been.
It was
in.
called
wow.
it was called a Black Hawk.
It's not a tourist.
It's a real. It
No,
was
it's
a
not
real
a touristy
helicopter.
helicopter.
Yeah, no, it was a death machine. It was a ghetto bird, as it's referred to, I believe.
But
Yeah,
I
that would
think
be
every
sick.
time I've ever been on a plane, other than when I was in the military, I was drunk and I just went straight to sleep.
Oh, I
that's the
don't
move.
drink on the
Yup,
plane.
that's the
No,
move.
I was drunk when I got on the plane. It didn't. Who gave a fuck what happened on the plane? I just went to sleep. I was
Oh
like,
my
fuck
god!
it.
That reminds me. Me and my friend went to Cape Town on like a weekend, and we took so much of drugs, man. So much of fucking drugs, and we did not sleep for like 4 days, right?
That's the opposite of what I want. I
What
want
kind of
something to
drugs do you
knock my
think
ass
these
out.
were?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Knock my
the
ass
other
out.
kind of drugs was tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
So we get on the plane, man, and
He
we
doesn't
like.
know what tickles.
Okay, doesn't matter. I don't want to say it on the air because my mom might listen to it.
Your
What does it rhyme with?
mom's too cheap to pay for this podcast.
Bitch!
We charge for people to listen to this.
She's so cheap.
Well, see, look.
Bloody hell, bitch.
Now he's in trouble, so you can just say it.
Yeah. So anyway, we took a lot of fucking drugs, methy related. Like it was the first time we didn't fucking know, but we didn't sleep for 4 days. That's
Methy related.
methy related.
My
never
friend's
did like
name
a-
was Walter White.
anyway. So we fly back from Cape Town. Now the fucking drugs is the most bloody hell exciting part of this bloody hell story.
It is.
So
This is why I want you to tell stories.
So anyway, now the boring part is coming. So we get on the plane. We were separated because we missed the flight like 3 times. I mean, we were just too far to get to the Barrel airport, blah, blah, blah. We are so tired. We separated. She's on her own, I'm on my own. And I'm sitting next to this guy from Australia. And I mean, I was so tired that I fell asleep before we even took off, right? By the time I woke up, like mid-air, hours afterwards, I was like literally lying in this guy's lap while he's trying to hold his tray and eat his food above my head. And I'm like drooling on him.
God.
And I'm just like knocked the fuck out. And I woke up and it was like, oh my god, I'm so fucking sorry. He's like, that's all right, mate.
That's all right, mate.
It's
Oh,
all
man,
right, mate.
that's the way to pull it
I
off.
was like, fine.
God,
But no, I was drooling on him. The guy could hardly eat. He had to like hold his tray and eat with like one hand. Like.
Oh my God. That's why you don't do
Say
drugs,
what?
kids.
I would have
That's-
been like, excuse me, bitch, get up.
I would have just dropped a loogie in your fucky ear.
That's why you don't do uppers, kids. Only do downers.
Yeah, I flew from
It wasn't meth that we took though.
I flew from Houston to when I was going to South Africa. I got to Frankfurt. Where's my dog?
Oh, your dog. Oh, he should go. Oh, he's sleeping.
Oh, he's okay. Yeah, I just didn't want you to close him out. All right. So when I flew from to South Africa, we stopped in Frankfurt, and I slept the entire trip there. And then I get out, and I'm going and touristing around Frankfurt, and I'm walking, and I walked for fucking hours. I took the train all around. I went all these little towns, and then at some point, because the way their trains are set up, it's like A goes in one direction and B goes in the other direction. So at one point, I'm getting off of A, getting on B, and then going to the next stop, which was the stop I was just at, getting off of B, getting back on A, going, and so I just kept going between these two stops for a while. And I was like, what the fuck, man? It's like I'm in the goddamn Twilight Zone. I don't understand this shit. The directions are written in German. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I ended up falling asleep on the train. And I think I must have rode the fucking train around Frankfurt for about 2 hours. And I woke up and there's this lady sitting there laughing because I'm drooling down my face. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, what fucking time is it? Did I miss my flight to South Africa? So I'm like looking, trying to figure out what time it is. And I'm like, okay. But I woke up and I had just an hour to get to the flight. So I had just enough time to fucking find somebody that spoke English to explain to me how these trains worked so I could get back to the airport and fucking go smoke a cigarette and get on a flight.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I
was almost
flight out,
stranded in Nazi Germany.
I would not. That happened to me. I almost couldn't get on the plane because the TSA guy was doing for my safety, taking a really long time. And I just got on by like 15 minutes. They would have been gone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They don't give a shit. Also, like when I flew back from London, like the last time, like I returned to South Africa, I had this little snow globe with me, and I didn't want it to break, so I had it in my hand luggage. And they gave me so much of fucking drama about that. I'm like, it's a fucking snow globe. Like, what am I going to do with this? It's too much liquid. Am I gonna break it?
No, you're gonna drown somebody in it.
Drown people in my liquid? Like, what am I gonna do with this? And then the guy was like,
put it up under your shirt and just, I think my water just broke.
Yeah, like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this liquid? It wasn't the glass, it wasn't the weight, it wasn't nothing but the liquid. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? Drown the entire fucking plane in the liquid that's in this fucking snow globe? Like, get a hold of yourself, people. And they almost made me miss my flight, and it was already bloody hell late for it. So yeah, fucking traveling is stressful.
What was that your dad
Very.
story your dad was telling us with the wheelchair? Where they came. All right, so her dad has he only one of his arms is completely paralyzed. Like he has no operational function with his arm
He was
whatsoever.
in a motorcycle accident in the 80s, so he lost like use of the arm.
Yeah, and he lost use of the arm, and so they and he's old. He's like almost he's what? He's late 60s. He's almost 70s. Yeah, and so he's blind in one eye.
From strokes,
Yeah, and half deaf, and so like he told them like I'm crippled, like basically like I'm handicapped, I need help. So they fucking come and they get him off the plane. They come and they roll a wheelchair onto the plane, have him get onto the wheelchair after he was just walking around the plane for the last 30 minutes trying to keep circulation in his legs. And so everybody's like looking at this guy that's getting wheeled off the plane that was just walking around the damn plane.
That's why, because I told him, when you're going to come back, it's like, I will never come back. I was like, why? He's like, because they wheel me around like in a fucking wheelchair, but the next moment they see me walking, they fucking think I'm faking it. Like, I will never do it again. Like, he refuses. He's like, they think I'm a fucking fake ass bitch, just like faking the injury or a disability so I can get wheeled on and on the bloody hell airplane. Where they just see me walking on the airplane. It's like, no.
That sounds like a major pain in the ass. Like, I wouldn't want that. Like, I'd rather, I'll walk, I got it.
It's like, no, I don't need you to fucking wheel me off the goddamn airplane. I just need somebody to help me figure out where the hell I'm going.
Wild, yeah, man. They are, and like you can't. I guess the flight attendants are a little better, but like it always feels like when I'm speaking to somebody who's at work, they like don't. They think I'm a customer, and sometimes I just am like, hey, I have a human situation going on here. Can you tap out of your job for a second? And they can't.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
I was on the line line for 2 hours waiting when I got to Dallas after Austin in the flight when they canceled my flight to LaGuardia home. And 2 hours, and I get to the front of the line, and the woman who I'm paired up with who's supposed to be helping me is just the worst. Rude, like not sympathetic to the situation at all. And there's no way you can communicate to them like, hey, I understand that your job means you can't help me, but could I at least get some like human sympathy? Can you be like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, it happens. Anything, like any sense of humanity at all. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't get you this flight. It's like, okay, that's fine. I get it. Get me the next flight. And actually what I need you to say is, it'll be all right. Everything's gonna be cool. And nobody ever thinks of that part. They're always just like, what can I do for you to fix this? And then they can never fix it. It's weird, man. The whole airport, I'm glad we're talking about the airport on this because it needs to be said. It is a freak show in every way. People who work there get the life sucked out of them. People who have to transit regularly, I don't know how most of them aren't getting the life sucked out of them. I'm sure a lot of them are. People are fighting constantly, aggressive, overly aggressive, sharing one lane with a bunch of luggage that doesn't fit in the upper compartments because people don't want to put it in the stowaway. It's madness.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what airports are or why they're madness, but they all seem to be total madness.
Well, I mean, it probably has something to do with who runs the airport nowadays.
I got to imagine that, but I got to tell you, I'm post 9/11 flyer. Like, I don't know what it was like before that. I have no idea. People say it was better, nicer. I don't know, more normal, like more getting on a train, and I have no clue. And I wonder how much TSA has to do with it. But I really like the entire thing is crazy. Like even the people at the gates who work for the airlines who are supposed to help you like can't communicate. They don't know how to communicate like normal people. Like I literally after I got off the line, got off the line because I knew the woman could not help me. I just left the line. I went up to another person who was just walking around and went, "Can you get me to speak to a manager?"
Yeah, I mean they are that is the first the first sign of AI. I mean, these people are breathing kiosks. That's all they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
They really are. I literally, when I approached the woman, the second woman who was supposed to be helping me, I went, "Can you get me a manager?" And she went, "Why do you have to see a manager?" I went, "Because the thing you are gonna say to me is I can't help you, and I know the manager can." And she went, "Well, why do you have to see the manager?" It's like, "Are we gonna do this like again? Like again?" I just explained to you why. I already know your limitations as an employee here. Your manager has fewer limitations than you do. Get your manager so that that person can help me instead of us having to do this song and dance where you find out you don't have the power to help me and then you have to call the manager. But they have to go through this process because they don't believe that the customer could actually be as intelligent about what they have to do as them. And most of the time it's like, yeah, no, motherfucker, you're working here. You're the one who's confused because they've confused you so much. I know exactly what I need. I need a manager who can fucking book me on a flight because you guys don't have the rights to do that. You don't have the permission to book people on flights. All that they can do is put you on standby for a flight.
Yeah.
I need more than that.
Well, I'm
That's it.
surprised. I'm surprised when you said, "Can I see a manager?" That she just didn't say, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that."
Yeah.
No, she did at one point. She was like, "Well, they're not here right now." I was like, "Well, you got to get somebody." Like I just kept going because I have worked at a major corporation. It doesn't work that way. There's always somebody of higher authority who's there.
Always. Yeah, so don't come tell me there's no fucking manager there because
Bullshit. It's nonsense.
Yeah,
and you know what? If they're not here now, call them.
Yeah.
Because we had a general manager at the business that I worked for who, when she wasn't there, she still had to field work questions because they would have to text them or call them and go, "Hey, can you give us permission to do this or this or this?" They're always in touch.
Yeah.
All right, and it's Dallas International Airport, motherfucker. There's a general manager walking around somewhere. Okay, there's 10,000 people who work at this place. Yeah, it's just a weird. It's a bureaucracy. I think they don't. I think they're just so conditioned to respond in a particular way that it's hard to like break through and go, no. I'm trying to help you here. I don't want to waste your time either. I need you to help me, and I'll be out of your hair. And they don't understand that from a client, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure they hear every fucking kind of story there is
And there are
I'm sure they
people
do.
that's
throughout
like
the
super
day.
extra.
And there are
there's
people that are
super
just
extra.
being a pain in their ass just to be a
Like,
pain
oh
in
my
their
god,
ass.
my water was 2 degrees hotter.
It's so
than I
true.
was, like, hoping
It
to be,
is.
So, oh my god, like, get me your manager.
Yeah,
you know?
that, and yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah,
true.
and so I guess that they just become like we were talking about earlier, like the
Robotic.
the DOT kind of, you know,
DMV, you said.
DMV, DOT,
I don't know
same
what you-
fucking
oh.
bullshit. Department of Transportation, Department of Motor Vehicles. It's all the same shit.
Oh, good.
But they go through, they just become this fucking shell of a person where there's no personality. Like, have you ever tried to joke around with these types of people?
Yeah,
And-
I
and-
literally
and you
was
just
trying to
see
joke
the-
with them.
Yeah, you
no,
just
don't
like
do that.
you see their face, they just kind of freeze and look at you like, are you being
Like,
serious, sir? And
Yeah,
you're
right.
like, no, motherfucker, like chill out, dude. Like,
Yeah,
be a
relax.
human for 1 second.
So much of the focus of my podcast is to point out abuses of power and how bad things have gotten and the direction in which we're heading as a society. And it can be a real black pill. I've partnered up with Richard Grove to offer my listeners an opportunity to sign up to his Autonomy Course. The Autonomy Course is designed for people looking for solutions, people that want to shape their own future, people that are not willing to be at the behest of large corporations or the United States government or the banking system. The Autonomy Course is designed for those of you who wish to have complete control of the reins of your life, who are looking to be successful, that to thrive and not just survive, to provide for your family by utilizing your existing skills and learning how to market and sell those skills in order to be your own boss, or learn new skills in order to leverage that into a new career opportunity. So if there's a job out there you've been trying to get or you've been wishing you could get, but you just don't have the skills for it, the Autonomy Course is the place for you to start, to learn how to land that position, to learn how to market yourself better, to gain confidence, and to be surrounded by a community of like-minded people that will encourage you and help you along the way. So use my affiliate links and go check out the Autonomy Course. It could be right for you.
Yeah, like literally, if you let me make you laugh, you'll feel better. Like, just let it happen, and we can have a regular
Yeah.
conversation.
Let it go.
Yeah,
Let
it's
it
true.
Go. Feel
There's-
it in
I-
your soul.
I have a big ego. Like, it manifests itself in, if you don't laugh at one of my jokes when I'm really trying to get you to laugh, like, it's like, oh, now we got to be enemies because you're not
Oh, hell yeah.
playing my game.
Oh, hell
Like,
yeah.
and that happens at the airport all the time. It happened like first of all, with the dog, that was the one that really flipped me off, was the dog, the bomb sniffing dog. I touched his little chin when he came over to me because he was adorable. And the guy was literally like, don't do that, don't touch the dog. I'm like, bro, it's a bomb sniffing dog. If I get closer to it, it's gonna sniff the drugs. Calm down and do your job, and don't worry about my interaction with the dog. Why is suddenly am I gonna be distracting a dog whose sole job in life has been to train to be smelling cocaine? And then why subsequently would I go over to the dog and pet it if I had cocaine on me? You're a TSA guy whose main job is to make sure I don't have cocaine, not to make sure how I interact with your dog. Relax. Everybody just relax. And maybe the dog will have a good day too. I feel bad for the dog because his whole job, and he's unpaid for it, by the way. And they go, well, I love him and give him treats. Fuck you. You don't do shit for that dog. He sits in a kennel when he goes home, for sure. He comes out to do a job he doesn't complain about, which is to sniff these awful smelling people, including myself.
He has no choice. He has no choice. You
No,
made him do
no
this.
say at all. And you know what? And he has a fucking smile on his face when he does it. And so I figured I would give him a little chin scratch, like, buddy, you're doing your job, and that's cool. I don't like the job that you're doing, but you're doing a job, and you're not complaining about it, and that's respectable enough. So I gave him a little chin scratch, and the fucking guy has a problem with it. I tell you what, that guy probably needs a chin scratch. He needs to calm down. They all need to relax. They all
Probably
need to
both of
just
his
calm
chins,
down.
because I have a feeling this guy's pretty fat. So
You-
both of
And
his
and
chins.
you're absolutely right about that. He sure was. Of course he was. He was tremendous. That's absolutely right.
It would have been funny if the guy would have said, "Sir, please don't touch the dog," and the dog would have bit the guy. Like, motherfucker, this is the
Like,
only
no.
attention I'm gonna get all goddamn day.
Really? How freakish is that? That a social animal that doesn't get to go home like the guy working there does to see his family just fucking sits in it. It's not his dog. This is not like a canine. And if it is, the fucking canines aren't always treated very well either because
Right.
they're not family dogs. They're tools. So
Yeah.
it's which I get. But like also I felt bad. So let me touch the dog. Just calm down. That's the craziest part is it's like the dog's job is to sniff. Me getting near him, he's doing his job better. Relax.
Yeah.
It was like the worst part was I didn't stop, and talk to the dog. And I literally, in walking past the dog, I went, baby, and I touched its chin as I was walking. I didn't even stop walking. So I didn't even really distract the dog from doing the job or stop the line or anything. And the guy just had a problem with a passing remark to the dog. And anybody who tells me, well, it's going to stop the dog from doing his job is to smell. He does it by default. That's his job. It's not distracting him.
Yeah,
It's terrible. I
The
don't know,
dog
it's terrible.
jumps up on its hind legs and grabs a guy by his fucking back of his head and shoves his nose in somebody's ass. You smell these fucking assholes, people.
Yeah.
Jesus
I just want some love, and all I do is
Yeah.
smell wet ass,
Yeah.
swamp ass all day.
This gonna be my life. I just
Yeah,
wanna
it's-
sit
This bitch right here
circle
has been on a
stretch.
flight for the last 21 hours from Doha. God damn it!
She doesn't have
You smell
any
that
drugs
sweaty
on her.
cooch?
I was pretty fucking unsanitary.
Unsavory?
When I got here, and then I got here in this August fucking humidity. I mean, I was caked
No way.
in nastiness.
She's wearing a pea coat, and
What the hell's a pea
My
coat?
God.
your gray coat.
What gray coat?
The-
Oh, that coat.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's wearing a pea coat because in the southern hemisphere, like the seasons are like reversed. So she gets off the plane and we walk outside and she's like, Jesus, it's fucking hot. So she pulls it off and then she starts scraping her skin, going, what the fuck is this? And I was like, it's
Man.
humidity. You'll get used to it.
Jesus. That's my biggest hang up of moving down there is it's gonna be brutal for a little while.
Yeah.
To get used to that humidity is something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in Austin, like that area, like where we were at, it's not humid compared to where I live. Like, and where I live, it could be 70 degrees outside, 100% humidity. You will walk outside and within 5 seconds, you're sweating from the amount of humidity that is caking on you.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't like that at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish that Florida and Texas were like somewhere vaguely north of New York and Maine. Like that would be the ideal temperature for those places for me. I
Yeah,
gotta do some
but
compromising, though.
then you would be needing to move to Oklahoma or Georgia because for some reason it's us hot weather people that fucking want to be free.
Yeah, that is true, right? That is weird. That is well, I don't know. What about the Dakotas? They're chilly as shit. Those people can't be fucked with.
Yeah, that's true. There's not a lot of people there, or like Wyoming. Wyoming's not bad. There's only
Well, yeah, if
500,000
you
people
want
in the
to
entire
Kaczynski
state.
out, you go to Wyoming. Yeah, if you want to
Yeah.
really Kaczynski out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. There's like, if I remember right, it's like 500,000 people in the entire state of Wyoming.
That's crazy. There's less people in my town. There's fewer people in my borough than that. More people in my borough than that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
listen.
you're in Queens, right?
Yeah, and I was talking about like sub Queens. There's probably more than 500,000 people. 'Cause Queens has like 4 million people in it.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up,
Why?
I'm glad we changed our subject from the plane situations, although I'll tell a little story real quick and then we'll move on to New York and talk about that. So when I, the only, a good story I have to tell about, flying when I flew back from London after my 2 year stay.
Is
back
this
to
when you
Africa
farted?
Forever and ever. No, 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 no.
You can't sprinkle that one in, and then that's not the story.
She's burying her face in her hands.
All right, must I just fucking tell the story?
Tell the first one first, and then you gotta.
Never ever let this go.
No, because it's
I'm like
hilarious.
blushing as I'm sitting here. I can feel my face is on fire.
I can feel your faces on fire.
Listen, there was a book that I was given as a kid. It was called Everybody Farts. So it's all good.
It's
Everybody
all good,
farts.
right. So I was in London, like living in London, and my mom and then went to South Africa or something, and they came to Heathrow Airport, and they said, "Come meet me and say goodbye to us or greet us because we don't see a lot, each other a lot because they live like 2 hours away. It's like a whole bus ride situation anyway." So I went there to go meet them, but the night before. Me and my then boyfriend drank a lot of fucking bourbon. Like he liked that fucking what's the thing I fucking hate so much, that Jack Daniels.
Oh, Jack Daniels.
Yes, so much of fucking Jack Daniels and whiskey, like it upsets your fucking stomach, right? So I'm at the airport. I take like an hour ride on the tube to get there. Like on the train, it's like not the underground. It like goes underground for a bit and it goes somewhere. But it's like an hour, 45 minutes an hour. So I get to the airport, I see my mom and them, and man, my stomach is fucking upset. Like, it is like bubbling, it is hot inside of my body. like something is happening, right? So I'm like, okay, so before I take the 45-minute ride back to home, I'm just gonna go, like, I'm just sit here, smoke a cigarette, mind my business, listen to my music. After my cigarette, I'll get my train back and I'll go back home. And
So wait. She's sitting on.
I will tell. I'm getting there. So I'm sitting because they have these like marble like slabs outside the airport where you can like sit and you can smoke a cigarette or whatever you want to do. So I'm sitting on one of those and my stomach is like, it's like boiling. It's boiling inside of my body. It's like, grr. And I'm like, yo. So I'm like, okay, I need to make a poop. I need to make a little poop. It's not going to be anything dramatic. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to like...
Release poop, yeah.
A small release of gases inside of your body. It's scientific, so it's not going to like be a big thing.
Absolutely.
So I've got my music in my ears, like a metal is like playing like hella loud. And I just like make my little poop, right? I make my little poop.
And right now she's motioning that she lifted side of her body.
I did lift one side of my little my bum to make like little space for it. But I swear to God, as soon as that fucking thing came out, that I was so little.
Oh yeah.
It was gigantic. I swear to God, I lifted up into the air. And it made the loudest sound. I could hear it inside of my fucking earphones, dude. Inside of my earphones. I could hear that poop happening, right? And I'm like, holy fucking Jesus Christ. Please. No one else noticed. No, it's just you. No one knows this fucking happened, right? So I'm like, oh, just act cool.
Act cool.
So I'm like, my head is going with the music, even though it fucking didn't even do that before. Now I'm just acting like extra fucking stupid. And I turn, and there is about 20 people just staring at me.
Oh and my God.
I'm like, fuck, Jesus, no. And I'm just gonna act like that was not me still, even though the entire fucking world at this point knows it was me. I'm just gonna fucking act like nothing happened. So then I just like took a fucking like 2 more drags of my cigarette and I put it down and I just smoked and I was like, Jesus, why?
Wow.
Dude, lifted so loud I could hear it inside of my fucking ears with earphones on it.
From bourbon. and bourbon did that.
Bourbon and whiskey, yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was
don't. Hey,
fucking
people!
brutal.
Public service announcement: do not fart on marble.
Don't do it, guys. It's not going to be discreet. You think it will be. It will never be. It doesn't even matter if it's a small poop. It will never be
Any
discreet.
polished stone of any kind will not take a fart well. Metal will not take a fart well either. Wood is really your best bet. Cloth, things like that, you can
I
fart
mean,
into.
I could have just stood up and like maybe did like a little turnaround.
A little
and be
poot,
like,
yeah, poot move, yeah.
yeah, just turn around and be like, oh yeah, maybe I'm looking for something, maybe I'm not, I don't know, but let
Oh,
it
yeah.
go and then sit down. But I did not expect that to happen.
That's called a. That's by the way. That's called. I don't know if you've heard this one before. That's called a carpet bomb. Yeah, when you standing fart and then leave the room, that's a carpet bomb.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Drop
yeah. I can
you
do
drop
that.
it and you drop it and then you leave.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
damage is done.
But
Yeah.
But what if it makes a sound and everyone's looking at you? Then what do you do then?
I still guess it's a carpet bomb, but then you really have to be like, enjoy that and then leave. You know, like you really have to.
Yeah, you
What?
have to own up to it. You can't. You
Yeah.
can't be embarrassed about it. Because
Yeah.
the moment that you're embarrassed about it, that's whenever everybody laughs at
I'm
you.
Yep.
guessing if you're in a
Exactly.
room doing a carpet drop bomb, then you are with friends. I was not with friends. I was with fucking international strangers.
Strangers are just friends you don't know yet.
Or that you haven't pooped on yet.
That you haven't pooped all over. Right. Exactly.
Would be friends until you drop that big
Yeah,
ass.
Until
would
you-
be friends
right.
until you like poop and then act like it wasn't you and run away like a fucking weirdo.
I used to this. I'm vaguely recalling that in high school, there was like 400, 500 kids in my high school total altogether, and there was one men's bathroom for all the boys, not the staff, just all of the students, and that bathroom was where like mischief was created in the school. Like everybody would mess around, like figure out new ways to fuck with people in the bathroom. There would be fights in the bathroom. So this was my move. I learned it in high school and I applied it in college since. You go into the bathroom and you have to know that other people are in there. And then when you get in, you just be as loud and uncomfortable as possible. Like like really like go for it and then get out. You get out really fast. Because what you've done is now you've left a pedestrian, the other person in the room, with a story. Man, I was in the bathroom and this fucking guy was just going nuts in there. And it's so funny to me to know that like the louder and more ridiculous you are, the more likely that person is going to definitely tell other people about what just happened in the bathroom.
Okay, yeah, that's the difference between, I guess, guys and girls, because I definitely don't want anyone to talk about my bowel movements.
Oh, yeah, no. See, if people knew I was doing it, I'd be like, that's right. So you better not be in that bathroom when I'm in there. And that's how you secure a private
Girls are like,
bathroom. That's how
I
you
don't
do that.
Poop. I've never pooped in my life. My
He was like,
doctors just
and what's
escaped my
crazy,
body
yeah.
naturally.
I worked for 6 years in a corporation where one of my jobs was cleaning the women's bathroom in there. Not only do women poop, they shit. They
Oh
absolutely
yeah, we don't
shit.
fuck around, man.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
not
yeah.
at all. No, needs to break that illusion right away.
But now,
Yeah.
now that we're on the subject, I would like to make a public service announcement. Like when you live with someone or you're anywhere with someone, you do something called the courtesy flush. So when
Oh,
you
yes.
poop, yeah, exactly. Tommy refuses. He says his balls are gonna get wet from the water when he flushes. I don't give a fuck.
I don't like the splashing on my nuts.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
Oh,
fuck.
man.
It's called the courtesy. It's a courtesy. Called the courtesy flush. You make the poop. As soon as
All
it
right.
goes, you flush, and then all the smells will go away too. So you can like sit there in peace. And
You
poop
need
and
to
poop and
buy
poop.
you need to buy poopery. Have you ever heard of poopery?
I've heard about that.
Yeah, you need to buy. That's the real solution. Is there before anybody uses the bathroom, a couple of squirts on the water, and then you can do whatever business you want, and it won't smell.
No, I mean
It's pretty great.
I would gladly courtesy flush if she'll come and like dry my balls when I'm done.
Oh my god, you know that fucking toilet paper like right next to you? There's a bloody towel. There's a bloody toilet paper. When must I do it? Huh? When must I do
No,
it?
because
Can't
you're the
you-
one who insists that my balls get wet.
But
If
Tommy,
you want
can't
my
you
balls
just
wet,
like
you dry the balls.
Donald Trump said
Can't
my
you-
balls are wet.
Tommy, an image of in your head of having to get well water out of the ground. You know what that looks like when you're doing it, where you got to pull up and you got
Yeah,
just
and
do
it
that
goes-
with your balls and hold them up there, and you won't get them wet. You just gotta
Yes,
like pull them up,
thank you.
fish
Like,
them
I'm
out,
gonna-
and they won't get wet.
Yeah, that's
I
what
agree.
I'm saying.
I agree with the courtesy flush, but what I don't like is to be expected to manage the seat position. I hate that one.
What does that
That's
mean?
when you know how there's a. I don't know if it's still a thing, but women always used to complain about how men wouldn't put the seat down after they were done peeing. You know,
yeah.
like you got to
Yeah.
pick the seat up and you put. To me, I'll do the courtesy flush, but you got to manage your own seat. I got to
Yeah.
manage the seat every
I mean,
time.
Look
Tommy
before,
is,
look before you sit, goddammit.
Yeah,
100%, yeah.
It's not fucking hard. Like literally, you can see
No.
it. The seat's not down. You put it down. It's literally like
Right.
a little movement of your hand, and it takes like 1.1111 second. It's like fucking.
Now here's the other
boom.
question: do you two in the bathroom with your toilet paper, is it over or under?
Oh, it's nowhere because I never
It's
fucking
on the
actually.
counter.
I never actually put it in.
That,
I think it's too
that's
much
the
work.
move. That is the move, guys.
So you can do
that
under,
was what
you
I
can
wanted
do
to hear.
over. Yes.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I discovered very quickly how fast toilet paper could go when Beatrix visited
Yes.
from South Africa.
Oh yeah.
Just
yeah.
ever.
We went through 30 19 rolls in 30 days.
Oh yeah. I'm a
See,
big
and now
toilet
you won't
user.
get a bidet because you don't want to get your balls wet. But a
I don't-
bidet
I
is
don't
the
want
solution
balls-
to
He
that.
doesn't want his balls
My
wet.
balls was hot.
Yeah.
My balls.
Well, it's cool water. That's cool water. They'll yeah.
no,
Every
no.
you know
Yeah,
that
dude,
is a weird
it's
thing.
Shit water on my nutsack, dude. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want the shit water on my nutsack.
What about
It's not
clean
shit
water?
water.
What
Oh,
about
yeah,
like
it
a
is shit
clean?
water.
What about like a nice clean, like a spray up there?
I mean, as long as it doesn't make them shrivel up to the size of peanuts,
Okay,
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 fine.
all right. Everyone's losing the fucking point of it all. You need to get the poop away. I'm not trying to say you must spray his balls with water after you've
This
made
is
a
why
poop.
men need to just go back to shitting in outhouses. This
No
is the simplest
doubt.
possible.
No, okay, don't say
Simplest
that.
solution.
She has a very weak stomach.
Oh.
You just made her vomit.
Oh no, I didn't vomit, but now I'm thinking about.
There we go.
Now
I was thinking about I was thinking about this the other day. I don't own a backyard, but if I did own a backyard, 100% when I let the dog out to pee, I'm gonna pee in the backyard for
I'm
sure.
good. I'm good. No, I'm just having flashbacks from that fucking porta potty. The porta potty.
Oh
I
no!
fucking- I
Oh
fucking killed the
no!
bug. Dude, like,
No.
like
I can't even believe you thought you could go into that. Yeah, no way.
No, the trick was.
The trick is to not think about it.
Yeah, I was talking about
take a walk.
peeing in the.
I'm gonna take a
I was
walk.
talking about peeing. No, but Tommy, be real with me. There's nothing better than pissing outside,
I
right?
piss outside as much as possible.
As much as possible.
Whenever
right?
I'm home,
It's excellent.
I don't pee in the house unless I'm already in the house.
I,
If I'm
I-
outside, I'm pissing outside.
100,000% the only way that I use a toilet is to poop.
Yeah.
If I'm peeing, I am peeing everywhere, probably but I'm peeing in the shower. I'm peeing outside. I everywhere but that. I think it might be like some of a territorial instinct thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah,
it is
well,
the
I mean-
superior way.
Well, I mean, I am in my 40s, so I do have to wake up in the middle of the night and pee every once in a while. So I don't go outside for that purpose. But,
Right.
every other time, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I would 100%. I'm an advocate of peeing outside.
Well, right. And I have 9 acres, so I have a lot of outside to pee.
Oh, you have a lot to pee on.
Yeah.
Oh, man. See, that would be like a game for me. It would be like surveying with piss. It could be like, I got to pee on every inch of this now. And then you have dogs, obviously, who are competing with you to mark the territory.
Oh, yes. They
Yeah.
will sit behind me while I'm peeing, and as soon as I'm done peeing, they will pee
No
where I just peed.
way. No way. They're marking their
Absolutely.
territory over here. That is
Absolutely.
such a no-no. I would be like, what do you think you're doing? Whose
No, you-
territory is that?
no,
Like, get
you-
into a fight with them. I'll pee on you.
No, you know what I do to fuck with them is I'll go and I'll pee just a little bit, and then I'll step away, and they'll pee where I just peed, and then I'll
Oh,
come
and then you
back
go back?
behind them and finish, and that really fucks them up.
I'm sure they're like, "What the fuck, dude? We thought we were smarter than this." It's like, nope,
They will pee out dust if they must.
So
but
you
they
wanted
will.
to talk about New York.
Oh yes.
Now
I
that you
do.
can speak
Now
without
that I can
vomiting on
speak
me.
again, like we need to stop talking about porta potties and all that stuff because me I'll get fucked up. But I will tell you.
Hey, but what about that? What about that
I
long
will-
drop? What about that long drop at the Boston base?
Oh, that
pretty
was
cool.
fucking cool.
You got a 4-inch
What are
pipe
you
coming out of the
talking-
ground. They don't have like an actual like porta potty. They had a 4-inch pipe coming out of the ground you just pissed into.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it was like a very cool place. Like
It's
'cause
really
when-
fun when you're drunk because you're trying to stand
yeah.
still and make it in the.
All right. We weren't that drunk.
No, we weren't.
No, we
drunk.
weren't drunk. But
Not at
no,
all.
it was like a very, very cool restaurant in South Africa in Mpumalanga. The province is called Mpumalanga. And it's this restaurant that's literally in the middle of fucking nowhere, dude. Like, you literally have to have coordinates to get there. Otherwise, you will not find it. So you drive like off the road, you turn at a specific point, and then you go over like this little stream, little river thingy, and you go over and you drive like on a dirt road, and you go like fucking forever.
It looks like you're on a safari.
Yeah, and then you like find this bloody old restaurant in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's no like walls, it's not like a building restaurant. It's just like basically a roof and then trees, and all they do at that restaurant is they braai, like we call it in Afrikaans, braai. You braai your like meat. All they have is like meat, sheba, which is like a vegetable, tomato, gravy type situation, and the South African, and then pap, which is like
It's kind of like grits.
like polenta grits, that, and they have like beer in a cooler. They don't even have a fridge there. Like beer in a cooler.
and they're cooking
that's
on
it.
pots over like open fire.
Open
Oh
fire.
damn, this
Everything
place
is
sounds
open
cool as
fi-
hell.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
cool. I'll send you some pictures. When
Oh
we're
yeah,
done.
I will show you the link. Like if you see the pictures, you'll be like, holy shit! Like, and they're only open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's it, and then they're done. And that's where we went to. And then they don't have, obviously, because they don't even have a building for the restaurant. They
Sure.
don't even have a fridge, so they don't have obviously a bathroom, like a bathroom. So it's like long drops, but obviously it's not. The quality that was at Cholabug is a little bit better.
Yeah, it was actually
you're-
clean. It's dirt, complete dirt floor, and you're
Yeah.
like shitting into a wooden barrel.
Yeah.
If you have to shit, or you have a 4-inch pipe to piss in, like a urinal.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
construction is literally just bamboo, and I can.
When you
literally,
get around in the rural areas in South Africa, what language do you have to speak? Afrikaans?
English mostly.
Oh, mostly English. Okay.
Yeah, mostly English.
Yeah, they're-
Like the black people speak English. They don't. A lot of them don't speak Afrikaans anymore. They used to back in the day in apartheid days.
Okay.
They learned Afrikaans because they worked for the white people, and they learned Afrikaans. They knew Afrikaans. But nowadays, like they all speak English, and then
English,
their
oh, wow.
native language.
Yeah, they're.
I was wondering. I was always wondering what countries I can go to based on being able to speak a language there. That's good to know.
Oh yeah. No, you can speak English in South Africa anyway, and they'll understand you. No
Yeah, they're
doubt.
all taught English in elementary school.
Yeah.
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 So it's like required that they know, because like a lot of these tribes, I think there's 11 different tribes there, and they all speak different languages. And then there's the Afrikaner, like Beatrix, who speaks Afrikaans, which is kind of like a Dutch, kind
Yeah, that
of,
was my other question. Is you should get Dutch on. You should get Thomas on and have her and Dutch speak, him speaking Dutch and her speaking Afrikaans, and see how much of the conversation can be
She can
carried
read
on.
Dutch.
Yeah, I can read Dutch,
So-
but the thing with when they speak, because my one of my friends in school, her grandmother, the entire family actually, her grandmother specifically, was like super Dutch from Netherlands, like super straight out of there.
Oh, okay.
She
Okay.
did not speak a word Afrikaans, and I didn't speak Dutch, but she will speak to me. But she spoke so fucking fast. Like, I mean, if I speak
Yeah.
Afrikaans, even if I speak Afrikaans to Tommy, like, he understands Afrikaans mostly. But if I go too fast, it's like, okay, I have to slow down. So if I slow down, then he understands. But,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with Spanish too. Like I
Oh, Lord,
understand
help
much
me so
more than
much
I
now.
can speak.
Sorry.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. A lot
And
more.
so, yeah. And so it's just like,
Oh, Spanish is my
just
nemesis.
slow it
My
down a little
nemesis.
bit for me so I can keep up with your process.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, like I can read it. There's actually so many languages in a European language that I can like read, but I don't think I will understand if they speak it at all. Like
No.
the other
No.
day I read, so not the other day, a while ago now, I read like a Swedish something, and I understood like all of it mostly. Not all of it mostly.
Oh.
There's no such thing as all of it mostly. It was almost a lot of it. Also, that's not a thing. A lot of it. A lot of it, but not all of it. And I was like, shit, that's fucking like a Swedish language. But all of our, like, Afrikaans is based on so many, like, European languages. Like, I can actually read a lot of it. If you
Wow,
speak it
that's
to
so
me,
weird.
I will not be able to understand you. I can guarantee you fucking it right now. If I go to your country, I will not be able to speak it. It will not work at all. But I can read it and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I get it, this makes sense. If I also know what the context is.
I can only do that with probably Italian and Spanish because they're
Well, it was funny because I
Like,
used to play this
Pogba,
game.
you know.
I used to play this game online, right? When I was spending like 3 or 4 weeks over the road at a time, and a lot of these players were German, and so they would be typing and communicating with each other in German, and because I know enough Afrikaans to get by, I could actually speak to them in Afrikaans, and we could have a conversation between each other.
That's so weird. That's weird, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
weird.
fucking
There's a lot of
There's
there's
a-
a lot of words.
There's
that
other
are
people
different.
who speak English that I can't like. I have to really be like. Actually,
Yeah.
a lot of people. A lot of people have to be like, you got to slow down because I sometimes I speak English way too quickly, and I that's got to be like the closest thing to a similar effect of someone who speaks a different language, but you can kind of understand it.
What are you looking for?
I don't have that with English otherwise.
Yeah, no, if you like either dumb or too fast, I'm not gonna get it.
I speak way too quickly for people sometimes.
Well, she
I
wanted
do,
to.
I do too.
Well, that's that New York in you, and she wanted to talk
Oh
to you
shit,
about New
yeah,
York.
let's get back to the bloody hell New York.
Yeah.
All right, so I am like semi obsessed, I would say, with New York City. New York City, also upstate. Like I've seen it's pretty beautiful, but I mean like literally the fucking city, New York City, NYC, NYC. I'm obsessed with it. Like it's one of my dream destinations. I want to go there so bloody hell badly. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's the worst, and it's dead now with the COVID-19." Like, is it really dead with the COVID-19? Is it so fucking dead?
It's really dead. It's sad. It's sad. I don't like, and I will talk about it. I just last night I was thinking about the bigger implications of me having to leave New York because I have to, and the idea that like the place where I've lived for 25 years has like fully decided that it's willing to reject me and make me have to leave, and not just me, but a lot of people who lost their businesses and stuff.
Right.
New York was New York is like the coolest city on earth,
I can
or
imagine.
was a decade ago. And then when De Blasio showed up, well, I mean, it was really going since Bloomberg. But like slowly but surely, the city decided that it didn't care about business, and it only cared about finance. And so people started just getting pushed out who weren't in the financial industry. Small businesses all got pushed out. A lot of the best things about New York, which again is what makes it the coolest city in the world, is the entertainment, the food, the lodging, the stuff like that. And all of those things, because of coronavirus, are either
Gone.
barely operating or gone. What I would say is I have to leave because there's no way I'm going to spend the best years of my life. I'm 25. I'm not going to spend them in a depressed city. I'd rather go somewhere where there's more economic opportunity. But New York has been one of the hubs of this country since it was founded, and it will continue to be a hub in this country. And I do believe within 5 or so years, depending on who gets elected to the governorship and the mayorship, and whether or not they want to emphasize private businesses over finance, over half of the city now being owned by foreigners. I think if it's managed properly, New York needs a really good management team. If it is managed properly, it's going to go back to being one of the cool cities in the. But like, if I was gonna, okay, so I want to go to New York. What I would say to you is, okay, what boroughs do you want to go to, first of all? And then we figure that out. And then after we figure out what boroughs you want to go to, let's just say you want to go to every borough except Staten Island, because Staten Island is much farther away than the others.
Yeah.
It's just 4. You want to go to Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Everybody would want to do the circuit, because they're all different completely different cities. You'd know exactly which one you were in when you were in them.
Yeah.
And what I would say to you is, okay, here's the restaurants you're going to go to. Maybe hit up an off-Broadway show, see a comedy show, and go check out the High Line in the city, which is like this, used to be an elevated train that they turned into a park. So it's like a tall, elevated park. I would say go to all those things, except out of everything that I just said, the only thing that you could probably do now is go on that High Line, outdoors, in a formerly... The rest, I mean, comedy shows are just starting up again.
Yeah.
Just starting up. I know Robbie Bernstein and Dave Smith were doing 2 comedy shows that I didn't get to go to because I got sick with a cold, but not coronavirus, but a cold.
Oh, I was going to say,
go.
you got the corona.
Yeah, no.
It probably was a coronavirus.
What? Yeah, it was exactly right, Tommy. It was yes, it was.
Did you listen to that podcast I did with that the respiratory therapist?
No. What?
Oh, you got to check that out, dude.
Like, I sure will.
One of the things he was saying was like, what these PSR tests or PCR or whatever the fuck this fucking nasal swab test, what they're doing is they're swabbing your nose, right? And they're pulling up like dead cells from a former coronavirus that was probably just a cold, but it's testing as coronavirus.
Jesus.
So they're marking you down as COVID-19.
A big...
I rolled my eyes so hard right now, I think I slipped it back into my fucking head.
She hates it when I talk about my podcast.
No, I don't even go fucking corona. Corona does not exist in my life. Like, I live in a bloody hell small ass fucking town.
Yep.
We literally, when it hit, like Bird, literally when it hit, we had to wear, it was mandatory to wear a mask for 1 week in the stores. And then
1 week?
1 week, dude, 1 fucking week. Like, I tried to go in there without my mask, and they were like, no, you have to wear your mask. And when you go in, you go through the doors with your mask, you take it off when you get inside. It was mandatory for 1 fucking week. And then after that, everyone was done. They were like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And it just stopped. So in my life, in my existence, in my little town where I'm living in my little bubble, there is no such thing as COVID-19. Like, I do not acknowledge it. It does not exist. It is just not something that's happening.
We have company.
100%. 100% was a very specifically thing that happened in certain places, and it was blown up to be totally federalized when it wasn't needed to be. Oh, hello.
There's the Ryans.
If you're gonna play this game of pick and choose, well, it's a game that was made for you to lose. It doesn't really matter how many times, it's the same old worn out stories, same old lines. They're all pointing dirty fingers in hypocrisy, bragging on their feats of mediocrity again. Never really making any kind of change, but they keep on getting re-elected, and I find that strange. And that's why I say fuck them, don't feed them, cause we don't even need them. I never celebrate the tyrants out of taking our freedoms. Yeah, I said fuck them, don't feed them, cause we don't even need them. I never celebrate the tyrants out of taking our freedoms. What's it gonna take for you to see that we're living in a rigged democracy? People stand in line for the visa they've been choosing, paying no attention to the rights they keep on losing. cause we don't even need them. I never celebrate the times that are taking our freedom. Yeah, fuck them, don't feed them cause we don't even need them. I never celebrate the times that are taking our freedom. Yeah, I said fuck them, don't feed them cause we don't even need them. I never celebrate the times that are taking our freedom. Fuck them, don't feed them cause we don't even need them. I never celebrate the times